Very good evening, good morning, good afternoon, all the worldwide educators. I, Dr. Ashwini Pansare, take this privilege and honor on this global level platform for our 2 days amazing and wonderful session career guidance and career counseling for a certified career counselor from ICWP. International Confederation of Worldwide Principals, ICWP, is a global organization of principals, directors, educators, and school owners of the school, college, universities, and other educational organizations with purpose to facilitate knowledge sharing, power of educators and eduleaders, and institution in the worldwide education sector. ICWP strives to guide the nudge principals, educators, and directors towards the excellence through mentoring, workshops, training, professional and personality development programs, various activities to foster the physical and mental well-being for holistic growth of the educators fraternity, our organization. It's only the organization that the best of world's rich dividend of young learners by catering to the educational needs to have tomorrow through the empowered principals and educators. So, on the today's great platform for career counseling session on day 2, I now request and I now introduce none other than the great motivational international speaker, Mr. Ravi, Ravi Kumar sir on this global level platform. Ravi Kumar sir, he is an Army veteran carrying nearly 4.5 decades of experience behind him. He is a coach, counselor, mentor, spiritual trainer, preacher, public speaker, and content developer. He has served in the Indian Army as a telecom and radio engineer for 3 decades, and post which he has dedicated his service with utmost devotion in upskilling the rural and semi-urban folks in English language, communication, and interpersonal skills, followed by employability skills, MS Office, career counseling. He is also an expertise in BFSI, retail, FMCG, automobile, mind mapping, sport, automobile, and many more domains. Sir is a multi-awardee. In various fields, Sir got the certification leadership for leadership skills, e-training, master trainer for FDP from IAAC, mind mapping, e-instructor, evaluator, academic counselor, and many more. Sir is the member of Secretary Association of Professional Trainers, India Chair Member, International Association of Academics plus Corporate, Director Training and Development, Consulting and Training Service, and JobSkull, Bhubaneswar CAO and Advisory Board Member, Rich Trainers Club co-founder and Vice Principal, his Space India Association and in the Women Empowerment Organization. Sir knows many languages like Hindi, English, Kannada, Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu, Punjabi, and Dogri. Sir is a multi-awardee and insightful and excellent educator on the global level platform. So the stage is all yours. Welcome Ravi sir on day 2 career counseling session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ashwini ma'am, and it's my privilege and honor to thank our very favorable and the favorite founder, Mr. Piyush Pandit sir, and also Dr. Snigdha Kada ma'am, and our moderators for the day, Dr. Ashwini ma'am, and also the most elegant and the very beautiful woman of the day, Dr. Nada ma'am also. So I am Ravi Kumar here. Please just allow me a couple of seconds so that I can share my screen. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it is. You can go. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, am I audible clearly and visible clearly also? And my screen is also visible, I hope.
Yes. Oh,
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. So this is all about to know. Yesterday we learned many things about the career counseling. What are the importance of career counseling? What are the tools or the techniques that we need to understand in the career counseling part? So today we will be knowing what exactly the career counseling means. What is the difference between the career counseling and career guidance? So to understand what exactly the career counseling is, a counselor is almost a guide, handholder, a facilitator, and also a Google map for his or her counseling. So, what is the major role of a career counselor or a career guide? The major role of a career counselor or the career guide is to help the counselee to get developed and go ahead, march further ahead in his or her career. Not only that, when the career is to be developed, one should understand what is the difference between the career counseling as well as the career guidance. So now let us understand what is counseling and what is guidance. The career, first, before we start with that, let us understand what exactly a career means or what is the definition of a career. A career is a very important role or very important part that plays in the life of each and every individual, irrespective of what the profession of the individual is. Because the profession itself is a career which the students will choose during their educational tenure or during their educational journey. In fact, rightly like yesterday, what was said by yesterday's our trainer Radhika ma'am, it is very evident that the career counseling should begin in the very preliminary stage, or I could say in the very elementary stage at the standard sixth. If not, if the school is not able to provide such a career counseling facility or such a career counseling guidance or the career opting knowledge to the students, at least it should be started from the higher secondary level. The career is a person's a personal growth throughout his or her life. The professional, the path, and the plan that one adopts to grow in his or her life for the future. And that depends what is the career path, what is the profession. That means what is the goal a student has in his or her mind. It begins with the goal. What is the goal of my life? What is the goal of my entire journey of my life? It starts from there. Once the goal is described or once the goal is decided by a student, then the profession, then comes the profession. Which profession I need to get into? To choose a profession, a student must be guided properly. So what is the guidance and what is counseling? Let us understand it in the later part. Then once we understand that it is a professional growth through the life, that is the career, and what is the career development? It is nothing but it is a consistent process of upskilling or gaining more and more knowledge, skills, and the behaviors that helps one in growing and leading a successful life and the lifestyle. How your career is developed from an executive level to a senior level to a leaders and leaders to the manager, managers to the top management to the directive board, so on and so forth. How does a child plan to build and develop his or her career? That is what the career development is. Now, going further, if you have to understand the concepts, or if you have to know what are the major one second, just a second. Yeah. So what does this career development or what is this career option is all about? Why does a student fails to opt or fails to choose his or her career? The major drawback or the major focus is that it is all about the last focus. What is that last focus is how this career choosing part is affected. What are the affecting trends that are causing the hindrance in choosing the career? The first and foremost one is the last focus. When the child tries to tell his parents or his educators that I am interested in such and such a field, the people around the child might be parents, might be the elder siblings, the teachers, or even their peers, their classmates, their batchmates, their schoolmates, so on and so forth. People around the child make the child to divert his or her attention from what the child wants to become. So there, what happens, the child gets into the confused state. Once the child gets into that confused state, the child loses the focus. Focus on what he or she really wanted to opt for, what he or she really wanted to choose for. And then the second thing is diversified or the minimal influence of the parents, teachers, friends, peers, which leads to the dropouts. Most of us, especially I would very proudly say that most of the people of our generation, they are the victims of this particular cause. Because if the parent couldn't become an engineer, or if the parent couldn't become a banker, or if the parent couldn't become a doctor, they insisted their offsprings to become an engineer or a doctor or whatever they wanted to become, or wanted to become an IAS or any administrative officer in the or any civil service officers. So that was their dream, the parents' dream, the parents' desire was put as a burden on the child's mindset. So this was a major hindrance for the children that they couldn't opt or choose for the career they really wanted to, or the career what they really were interested in. So this led to the dropouts because the students, the children couldn't cope with the pressure that which the child was not interested. Then the third trend is that focusing towards the facilities and the that is the infrastructures, than the objective. That means when the parent tries to get admission to the child, to a particular stream of education, whether it's medical, paramedical, or engineering, or whatever the professional
Ambassador
course.
Joel, please mute yourself. I muted you 2 times until now. Please muted yourself. You can continue, Ceryified.
Yeah. Instead of focusing on the objective, what they wanted their child to become, an engineer or a doctor or a paramedical or a civil service officer, whatever they wanted to make the child to become, rather than focusing on that particular objective, they started focusing on the facilities and the infrastructures that could be available in that particular educational institution. The parents started to think or more on the facilities and the infrastructure. Say that if I want to get my child put into an university to get an engineering degree or a medical degree, then which is the best college, I started searching it out. So when I searched out for the college where I wanted to get my child admitted for the particular course, rather than focusing on the faculties that are available, the educational infrastructures that are available, I started focusing on what are the facilities available. Can my child get a single sharing room, or can my child get an AC room? Is there a swimming pool around in the college campus? Is the hostel furnished with all the latest and the sophisticated arrangements? So this also, and what is the standard of the food that child could get? Will there be a veg or a non-veg? Will my child get all the latest food cuisines that are available in a hotel? These are the thought processes that really hampered the child's career. Then, next is the competition. What is that competition? There always there is a leading competition in the rankings. So when there is a competition, the child started to forget what exactly he or she is more interested in. Then they started to focus more on cracking the entrance tests. So what would be the rank I would be getting? Will I be able to get less than 500th rank? Will I be able to get less than 1000th rank in the CET? That is common entrance test. So these are what is the CAT? What is the common admission test that I'm going to get? All these things are the hamper or the hindrances that are causing the bright career of a child. Instead of focusing on all these things, if you focus on the objective, and when the objective is clear for the child, then we counsel the child. Before we counsel the child, what is to be kept in mind? That is most important. So before we get into that topic, now the major thing that most of the career counselors should focus on is this gap. The last gap, that is the aimless process gap. What is this aimless process gap? Can anyone tell me, or can someone text it on the chat box? What does this AIM stands for? AIM. That's why I put the hyphens in between. A-I-M. AIM. Because all of us are educators, all of us are in the learning arena. What is your perception to understand this AIM? Any answers from any of you? Please do feel free to text your answers. Let us be more interactive to learn more and more. If we as counselors, as career counselors, if we are not able to interact now, how can we interact with the child to whom we are counseling, or to the parents of the child to whom we would be counseling, or the teachers of the child with whom we would be counseling? Right. AIM stands for A is attitude. First and foremost thing is, most of the parents doesn't focus, most of the teachers doesn't focus or doesn't care to correct the attitude of the child. Always, as a career counselor or as a career guidance or as an educator, as a teacher, faculty, or as a parent, we should try to correct the attitude of the child first. Then the involvement. What is the involvement of the child? That we should try to understand in the beginning itself. In which career or in which path or in which area or in which field the particular child is showing interest and the particular child is showing the involvement. We should focus on that and try to guide the child in that particular thing after understanding the pros and cons of that particular involvement in the particular area of that particular child. Then the third thing is the mindfulness. Whenever we counsel a child for his or her career, we should make the child to understand completely that what is the choice of the child. If choice A doesn't work for him or her, what is the choice B for the child? When we understand that choice A or choice B or choice C, and we give the priority to those things. What is the priority? Choice A or choice B and choice C. On what priority you want to get into this? Once you prioritize your choices, after that, you should be having the mindfulness to get yourself prepared to get into that particular career or to get into that particular profession or to get into that particular path of your life. So this is where a career counselor will have to focus while counseling the child. What is the last focus of the child? What was the focus of the child earlier? So to do all these things, to get a better result of all these things, a career counselor should always not only restrict himself or herself to counsel the child, only the child, but also after understanding the child's wishes, after understanding the child's interest, the area of interest in which the child wants to grow, then have a meeting, a counseling session type of a meeting with the parent to understand what is the mindset of the parent, what is the idea of the parents, what is the desire of the parent towards their world. Does they want, what is the child's interest and what are the parents' interests? Then once the second process is done, then try to have a meeting, try to have an interaction, try to have a conversation with the teacher of the child to understand and to know which are the areas the child is good at. because only the examinational marks or the test marks cannot judge the child's brilliancy or the child's intelligence. A teacher, the class teacher, the principal of the college, or if at all, if there is a counselor in the school or the college, also contact that counselor who would have observed the child's development across all the fields in the school. After comparing all the three options, all the three results, then think and come for a better conclusion to understand what area the child is much more interested. Try to counsel the parents. If the child goes in this area, the child is interested in this area, what all the obstacles that would come, what all the difficulties the child would face, because of which going forward, even the parents also would find it difficult to cope up with the child. Once it is done, once the counseling starts, once you decide what is the career to be opted or what is the career to be chosen by a child, then the next step is to know what are the options that are available in the career, in one's career. So what do you want to do with the rest of your life? Once you are done with your professional education, or once you are done with your generic graduation, or once you are done with something that you want to become in your life, what do you want to do in the rest of your life? After doing this, then the career choice. The career counselor should start giving the choices for the student, what all are the suitable and the favorable choices the child can get into the career or into the profession. That's what I was earlier also saying. The first and foremost thing that we need to focus is the interest of the child, the area of interest, where the child really wants to grow, where the child is inclining to become and showing more interest and interest. If the child is interested in sports and he wants to become a sports person in any game or in any sports, whether it is a football, a hockey, cricket, tennis, whatever may be the game, if the child is much more interested in that and is having less focus on the academics, it is the duty of the counselors, we as the career counselors, that we should guide the child in a proper manner. Guiding is nothing but hand-holding the child, showing the Google map to the child of his or her career. That's what the guide is, career guide. Career counselor is the one who counsels the child and also the parent and also the teacher. After getting all the three results, compare them, collate them, come to a best conclusion to give the choice or the career option for the child. So once the area of interest is found out by the counselor or the career guide, then it is the duty of the career counselor or the career guide to make the child to set his or her goal in life. To set the goal, as all of us know, what are the processes, what are the techniques we adopt. The first and foremost thing, whether you teach the child with a SMART goal options, always focus on the 5 Ds, the dream, the desire, the devotion, the dedication, and discipline. If the child gets into all these 5 Ds properly, then the correct goal could be set as per the area of interest that child is having. Once the goal is set in the area of interest, then look out for the payout, that is the salary, the earning. What could be the earning from that particular career for that child? Going forward, as the child develops his or her career in that profession, what are the available resources to develop himself or herself in that particular direction, in that particular path? What could be the salary range that child could achieve, the maximum salary range, the maximum earning the child could achieve at the end of his career? Now, that means at the end of his career, in the sense at the end of the service, that is at the time of retirement. Will I be able to earn sufficient income to live and lead my post-retirement life, though not in the same comfortable zone, at least not much below the present comfortable zone? Then, the area of interest, you have set a goal, we are talking about the salary. What should be the income that one child is expecting to lead his life? Once this all done, to get into this goal with your area of interest and with your expectation of your income, what are the minimum basic educational qualification a child should have? So what is the education a child should pursue to get into his career and get success and reach the goal or achieve the goal? So what are the educational qualifications? After educational qualification is achieved or planned and gets admitted to this particular educational qualification range, then if you have to get into this, then start preparing yourself. You should start preparing yourself. The preparation should begin there. Once you join the course of the line of interest that you are having, you are getting into that education line, then you should prepare yourself. You should make the child to prepare himself or herself to get a good scoring in that particular stream of education. Simply or just the educational qualification is also not enough. Then for that particular goal or that particular profession or that particular desire the child is having, what are the skill sets the child needs to develop? What are all the skill sets? Professional skills, technical skills, behavioral skills, life skills, soft skills, all type of skills. Under all this banner, what are the relevant skills that are required to be developed to reach my goal? Once you have listed out all these things, then do a proper planning. The proper planning of all these things should be done. So how you are going to do all this planning and other things? Every stage, that is from the stage of interest to the stage of planning, everything should be written. Everything should be in a hard copy, not in the soft copy, in the brain. Everything should be properly written. Everything should be there. Yes, once the planning is done, then comes the implementation of the planning or carrying out of that particular planning. So the career guide or the career counselor's actual work starts from here. Once the planning is done, the planning is drawn, the monitoring of this planning. What are the stages that have been set up to achieve the goal is my ward or is my counseling able to achieve the each and every step of the planning that is been drawn, that has been written down, is he or she able to achieve it? The monitoring part of it. Then, once this is done, the planning, as I told you, what are the interests? What do you want to be? What are your skills? What types of careers fit your skills and interests? How do you prepare for the career? These things have to be written solidly. What are your interests? What do you want to be? That is the goal. To achieve this goal, what are your skills? Each and every stage you come across, each and every stage you pass through, just keep on ticking that, yes, I have done with this, I am done with this, I am done with this. Now these are the skills that I need to develop. Where and how can I develop all these skill sets and improve all my rest of the skill sets? Then, interests, make a list of 10 activities. As I was telling you in my previous slide also, what are your interests and what do you like to do? After that, make a list of 10 activities you have enjoyed during in the past 4 years. Then, what challenges did the activities offer you? Because the challenges are the ones by which the child learns. That no one can learn from the success. All of us learn when we get or when we face some challenges. Only when we face some challenges, we learn something, and that is the path for the success. Then, what skills do you need to develop further to continue those activities? That means, after facing the challenges, what are the learnings you have done? Learn from those activities, those challenges, and what are the skill sets that are required to be developed to overcome those challenges? Then let us see what are the career. What is the career is taking you to? The career is nothing but it is as good as saying what are the skills that are required for you to choose your career and what is the career plus skills. What are the skills that are required? What are your skills, existing skills? Make a list of it. Even the counselor, after doing certain assessments, after doing certain tests, after doing some analyses, should make a list of the skills of the child. So make a list of your school activities, where all you are taken part. Then make the rate of skills that you have learned through those activities. Then to develop those skills, a child should volunteer to evaluate the school, the work or leisure experiences. Then how do you prepare for the career? Find out what are the characteristics to look when selecting a school or college. When you want to select a school or when you want to select a college or when you want to select a course even, what are the characteristics that you are looking for in that particular school or in that particular college or in that particular course? What do you want to learn? What do you want to become? What is your major? What is your major option to get into that particular course, in that particular college or in that particular school? Once that is done, then once you decide what is the course that you are going to take up to develop your skills and your career, at least make or list, explore minimum 3 colleges or minimum 3 institutions. Because always, as I was telling you earlier, always you should keep it as plan A, plan B, and plan C, or option A, option B, option C. If option A doesn't work, then we should focus on option B and option C. So because of that reason, always choose 3 colleges or 3 courses that would be relevant to the child's area of interest and the child's goal set, whatever the child has set the goal, the relevant courses and the colleges. After that, what are the career options? Or what are the options, where all the job a child can get? So the career after 12th pass, what are the options? Where all a child can get into the courses? What are the courses a child can go ahead? Or what are the job that can be availed for a child who has passed the 12th standard? So after 12th, to choose a career, a child always should know if the child is doing the medical, completion of 5 years of medical graduation, that is MBBS, that is Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery, MBBS. Then, once you complete the graduation of medicine, then there is a master's degree which will be for 2 years. After you do your master's, at least the person or the child should practice as an individual practitioner, as an individual medical practitioner for minimum 2 or 3 years to get the professionalism of that particular profession, and also get to know and explore more and more knowledge about that profession, that is the medical profession. Then the child can look out for a job. From the science stream, if the child is from the science stream, the next option for the child is to get into the engineering courses. So what are the engineering courses? Initially it is BTech or the Bachelor of Engineering, and then the post-graduation, that is Master of Technology or MTech. Then what are the eligibility criteria and the duration of the course? All these things should be very well known to the counselor, because without which, when the earlier counseling starts at the higher secondary level, if we cannot fetch all these details and make the child to understand, then we cannot guide the child to lead a proper career. So to get into BTech, what are the minimum eligibility criteria that are required? For BA or BTech, it should be a 12th grade pass with minimum of 45% of marks. Of course, in today's generation, in today's trend, it is not possible to get 45 engineering seats with mere 45% of marks. However, it can be achieved if the child's parents are capable of affording all the capitation fees, all the donations, so on and so forth, whatever the extra money that need to be spent to make his or her child an engineer. Otherwise, minimum 80% or 85% is required to get a seat on the merit. After that is in the 12th standard with the PCM, that is physics, chemistry, and mathematics. The BE or BTech would be for 4 years. Once you get through in the 12th standard, then you will have to appear for the examination, that is CET, Common Entrance Test. Once the CET is also crossed, based on the rankings of the CET, the child will have to go for the counseling. Which college, which stream, all this counseling will be done by the respective universities to give the child the seat in the available colleges. Once the child has got through in the 4 years engineering professional course, after becoming a graduate in engineering, he or she can go for the masters. There is the post-graduation. It can be either ME or MTech. After passing BE or BTech. Yes. Yeah. So that master's degree would be there for 2 years. After that, the child can get into the job. Where all the jobs can be available for an engineer, it can be in today's scenario. A child can get a job in almost all the sectors of the workspace. It can be an MNC, that is the multinational companies, KPOs, BPOs, automobile sectors, IT sectors, mechanical sectors, so on and so forth. Construction sectors, architecture, so on and so forth. For a fresher, after completing the graduation of engineering, for a fresher, the minimum salary that could be available, the minimum I am talking about, based on the performance of the academics and the overall grading of the child, the minimum salary that could be available to the child would be 25,000 per month. Then, what are the rest of the courses that are available to the child after passing the 12th standard? A child, if it is from the commerce or the arts stream, can get into BCom or BA, BSc or BBA, that is Bachelor of Business Administration. Can get into law courses, get into hotel management, print and journalism, mass communication, which is in the great demand today, this mass communication. Then filmmaking, travel and tourism, another sector where there is a great demand, because hotel management, mass communication, travel and tourism, these three departments are looked on low by most of us. But these are the most sought after courses today. These are the most sought after places where the jobs are lying vacant, and the child can start his or her career in these things. Then the medical, as we discussed earlier, and the engineering sector. Other than that, a child can opt for the miscellaneous courses like getting into design technology, fashion technology, textile technology, so on and so forth. And a child can always get into any defense sector, that is Army, Navy, or Air Force. From where, again further, even in the defense sector, a child can always further grow, and further carry out his educational qualifications. After 12th, a child can do medicine or engineering or any other graduation from the defense sector also, whether it is Army, Air Force, or Navy. So there is a special scheme in the defense that is called as TES and MES systems. TES is technical entry system and MES is medicinal entry system. If a child wants to get into medicine after 12th standard, after having minimum 50% of scoring 50% of marks in the 12th standard, a child can get enrolled into the army and into the armed medical colleges in Pune, Armed Forces Medical College. It is called as AFMC. Get into that, do medicine and become a doctor and pursue his or her career in the defense sector. Same, the child can get into the TS cadre, that is technical entry system cadre, where after 12th, the child is enrolled into the army after cracking the SSB, and post which the child would be getting admission into the engineering graduation. The child will do the BTech from the defense sector itself and then pursue his or her career in the defense sector. Same in the Navy as well. Then other career options for a child after 12th standard. Most of us think if it doesn't score good mark in science, we are lost in our life. No. We should make the child, we should understand, we should make the parent of the child also to understand, we should make all the educators of the educational institutions to understand that a child can never lose his or her career in life. Because if you guide the child properly, if you nurture the child properly, a child can get into any of the streams and really focus on those things and build his or her career in a very comfortable manner. The rest of the careers that can be available for a child after 12 is BAMS, that is Ayurvedic medicine science. He can become a doctor. If not allopathic, the child can become an Ayurvedic doctor. A homeopathic doctor, that is Ayush. Can go for a B Pharma, that is Bachelor of Pharmacy, BSc in Nursing, BSc Honors in any of the subjects, Academic and Research, Chemical and Pharma Industry, and ONGC, that is Oil and Natural Gas, etc. A child can get into this stream. A child from the science stream from the 12th standard can get into BSc in the same medical or the biological field called as anthropology, where the biological and the social cultural evolution of human rights from the origin. With this, anthropology is also in great demand in today's trend. Can become a curator, an urban planner, tour guide, research scholar, so on and so forth. Then if that is also not interested, a child can go for Bachelor of Science, Occupational Therapy, that is called as BOT. Work with the patients of orthopedic. So again, without getting into medicinal graduation, a child can still be there in the medicinal field. Then neurologicals, psychological or psychiatric patients. The child can work with this type of patients, which is almost equivalent to a doctor's job. Not only that, a child can also opt for physiotherapy, electronics, CS, that is computer science, architecture, BCA, that is computer applications, etc., etc., etc. If the child is from the arts stream, If the child wants to become an entrepreneur, if the child wants to start up, get into a startup and become an entrepreneur, want to become a noted businessman, a child can always opt for the BBA course, that is Bachelor of Business Administration, post which a child can go for the Masters here as well for making it into Masters of Business Administration. Not only does a child can also become, yes, someone has raised hand, may I know? Can you please unmute and speak? I'm not able to read the name because it is in your language. Can you please unmute and speak, please? You raise the hand. Shall I continue further? Yes, Nanjin Mullaji, want to say something because you are trying to say something. Najneen Mullaji.
Professor Ravi, you continue, please.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Nada. So a child can always get into the BA or BSc economics and can become the economist of the nation as well. A child can pursue BA, that is Bachelor of Arts in any languages, that is literature. Any language, whether it is the Indian language or the foreign language, a child can always pursue that. And this is a very good option for the child to grow himself or herself in the field of education. Can become one of the great educationists by just doing all these courses. And however, going forward, the child can always improve his or her educational level going higher and higher. Then the next field that is available for the child after 12th is getting into the biochemistry field, that is BSc Biochemistry. Then BSc Botany, Zoology, Chemistry, Mathematics, Physics, so on and so forth. Further, if you divide these major branches into smaller pieces, you can get into many fields in chemistry, whether you want to get into organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, or you want to get into organic physics, inorganic physics, what type of physics you want to pursue your career into, you can get into that particular stream. A child can also get into BSc Microbiology. Another trend in today's demand is the agricultural science and technology. Now, this agricultural science and technology in India, as per the National Educational Policy 2020, this particular course, that is agricultural science and technology, this has been upgraded or considered as a professional course, just equivalent to what engineering or pharmaceutical, nursing or medical are. Law and agricultural science and technology, these two are the other categories that has been upgraded into the level of professional learning. So nevertheless, the parent or the child should feel degraded that getting into BSc agricultural science is of no use, or I am the most low in education. No, because today it has been considered as the professional course. Then, as I was talking earlier, fashion designing, textile designing, fashion technology, textile technology, so on and so forth, the list can grow but it cannot be cut short because in today's trend, today's education, it is getting so much wide and large that it is going to touch infinity. Then what are the government jobs up to 12th standard a child can get into? The government jobs that can be available for the child other than getting into all the professional courses, later on getting into the job, immediately after the 12th standard, if the child cannot opt or afford for the higher educations, immediately a child can get into his or her career into defense services. Once they get into the defense services, they can always upgrade their academic education and get into higher ranks. Then the paramilitary services, fire services, that is UPSC, that is Union Public Service Commission, and State Public Service Commissions, that is SPSCs. BFSI sector, this is another major sector in India today. This sector is considered as the most important sector even from the NSDC, that is National Skill Development Corporation. This sector, BFSI sector, I being a trainer, a master trainer and a counselor as well as a coach, I am doing this as a CSR program in many colleges through financial services, that is non-banking NBFCs, non-banking financial corporation sectors like Bajaj Finance, IIFL, so on and so forth, to get into the job sector, that is banking, financial services and insurance sectors. A child from a commerce or an arts sector can always get trained into this in the CSR programs and get a very good job in these sectors. Then the India Post, then when we get into that state level administrative sectors, a child can always get a job as a first division clerk or the lower division clerk, that is into administration sectors, both in the central as well as in the state governments. Then in the secretaries, a child with BA or BCom or BSc pursuing the CS course, that is company secretaries course, can get into any secretaries, whether it is state secretary or the national central secretaries. Can become the personal assistants. Also get into aeronautical and aerospace services. This is these two, the last two, that is aeronautical and aerospace services and the submarine services. These two are again having a lot of vacancies, and the children, they need to opt for this. They always think if we get into this field, we will be staying away from home. As a career counselor or as a career guide, we need to make the child to understand that a career, you cannot live along with your parents or siblings throughout your life. It is always a mandate that we have to leave them behind and live on our own. Staying away from home, staying away from home state never ever bothers anyone. So these are few of the career options that are available on the Indian Forum. In the same way, if the child wants to get into the abroad for a course, as a career counselor or as a career guide, just get into some search engines, Google out, you will find all the requirements that are required. What are the universities that are opting for, which are all the courses and what are the minimum requirements. Once you get into all those things, as a career counselor, as a career guide, we need to explore what are all the universities overseas, these universities, what are all the courses they are offering, and what are the minimum requisites to get into those courses. According to the child's interest, according to the child's wish, according to the child's goal, we can always guide the child to get into that particular university. To get into that particular university, what are the examinations, that is the educational, minimum educational qualifications, and the entrance examinations a child need to take and get through in that. These informations, if you Google out, you can get it across. Say, for example, an engineering or a medical student, after completing his or her graduation, wants to go abroad, say for Canada or US or Australia or New Zealand or UK, just to go abroad on studies, they need to crack IELTS or TOEFL or PTE. In the same way, all the universities, once you, what is the rank or what is the grade or what is the band that you score in these tests, based on that, the overseas universities will offer you the course, will offer you the seat for those things. So, with all these things, I'm coming to the end of the day's session about the career and the career development and the career guidance and the career planning. Any questions or any doubts or any clarifications are most welcome. Please do put them in the chat box, or please unmute yourself, both vocal as well as special, that is, open your camera as well, come on the camera, and please feel free to ask your doubts and questions. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here and listening so patiently to me all this time for almost more than an hour or an hour and a quarter. I'll stop sharing the screen and I would request.
Thank you very much. You are giving justice to it. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Any questions, any clarifications, any doubts, please do feel free.
Yes, yes, please be free, because our great Sir Ravi Kumar make an amazing speech presentation. So please ask if something is not clear. He will make it. We are here to learn, to share. So today we don't need to go home after this session if all is not clear, please.
What will happen is that if you keep some doubt in your mind and if you go to a counseling to counsel that child, you yourself having the doubt will not be able to clear the doubt of that particular child. So before the child asks you the doubt, you be ready with the answer for that particular set of doubts. Please do feel free to ask any questions that are related towards career counseling or career guidance. If you feel shy to come on the camera or to voice your question, you are always welcome to text it in the chat box.
Yes. Dr. Patricia, do you have any question? Miss Lali, Ambassador Jaume, please.
I can see all appreciations only. Keep the appreciations apart. Please do come out with your doubts. Please clarify your doubts. You appreciating me will not help you. You trouble me, that would really help you, because your doubts can always give a better guidance to your counseling, that is your child. But your appreciation will never help you. So you criticize me and please come out with your doubts. Mr. Ravi, you didn't do that. Ravi, you didn't cover that. What does this mean or what does that mean? I'm
Maybe
here
by
to answer
tomorrow,
those things.
maybe by tomorrow they will bring in some critical questions. They will challenge you. Since you have informed them now, so tomorrow will be the last day. You will come and they will be able to express themselves and give you some questions.
Sure.
Yes,
To
Professor
ask a
Charles.
question itself is a big question now.
Yes. So, Sir Ravi, tomorrow we have the last day. So maybe in the chat, maybe after watching once again the video, because we will make a video after the session, and they can always ask you. So
Sure.
what to
You're
say
always welcome.
today? An amazing day 2. Batch Career Counseling Batch 2 Day 2. International Confederation of Worldwide Principals. An amazing work, and I'm thank you from the bottom of the heart, Sir Ravi, for this great session. We want to thanks to our great sir for giving us this platform and for working hard, and to our great Dr. Snikta for organizing this training session, this career counseling, because ISVP, the world's biggest association, is providing and aspiring to counselors, to educators, to principals, to edu leaders, directors, edupreneurs, coaches, parents, students, and individuals an opportunity to master coaching skill and apply them in the best way possible. We are sure that after tomorrow, you will be ready to master the coaching skills and apply them and in the way it is the possible. Yesterday, our amazing Dr. Radhika had a great day 1. Today, Sir Ravi, and tomorrow we are waiting our great doctor. Where I think she's here or left tomorrow. So tomorrow, please, it is Sunday. Be at the time and be in the biggest number, because knowledge is very important to us. We are here to learn, to share, and to grow. Once again, thanks to each of you here today. Have a nice rest of the day today, because it is Saturday. So Ravi, thank you once again. Till tomorrow.
Thank you.
Till
Thank
tomorrow.
you so much.
Yes.
And I would render my heartfelt gratitude and the thanks for giving me this opportunity on this platform to check and give the knowledge or share the knowledge on day 2 of the career counseling and career guidance to so many participants across the globe, to our founder, Mr. Piyush Pandit sir, who is all in all responsible for creating this such a wonderful platform and giving me such a wonderful opportunity to be there with you all. Nevertheless, I would also love to convey my gratitude and heartfelt thanks to Dr. Snigdha Kadam, and also none other than the beautiful woman that you are seeing on the screen, Dr. Nada, and today's moderator, Dr. Ashwini. And all the participants, those who are here, I thank you all, and I also congratulate all of you to get certified and get the certificates and help the world to build a better career and build a better world across us. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Enjoy the weekend. Happy weekend to all.
Yes. Thank you and bye-bye. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.